Truth Frequency Radio.
Well, welcome everybody. Sorry about the little bit of delay there. The network's a little bit out of sync, so I didn't want to rebroadcast stuff onto YouTube and, So we are live and at it here on the Paranormal Portal. As always, hope you guys are doing great. Thank you so much for spending part of your weekend right here with me. As always, it's an honor. All I can say is it's an honor. It continues to be an honor. Every time I turn on the lights and you guys come in, I'm floored. So thank you so much. As it stands tonight, it's just you guys and me. We are it. There's no co-host. There's nobody else. No big toe. No big branch. It's just big me. So you got that going for you. And I hope you're ready to be entertained, because that's always my mission. And sometimes I succeed. Hopefully more often than not. But, I think it'll be a good show. I got a lot of things going on here as always. So we're going to do the news here shortly. We'll start the news. I just got a few articles to go through tonight. And then we're going to go to the Discord question of the week. We're going to just do some ghost app testing. And we're going to hit the cryptid corner to round it all off. So I hope you guys are ready. Remember, the phone lines are open on the Paranormal Portal. If you have something you want to share, by all means, you can do so by calling, actually, on YouTube, the number that's going to appear below my face, which is 720-923-0500. Again, 720-923-0500. Those are the numbers for fun here on the Paranormal Portal. And that's what we like to have. It's fun. So if you're new to the show, this is a paranormal show. We cover all the different paranormal topics, be it cryptozoology, UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, etc. But we like to have a good time doing it. The stuff is spooky and weird enough as it is. We may get into some glitches in the Matrix stories tonight as well. I find those really interesting because it's where, reality truly stands on its head. And it's not necessarily directed by another intelligence. It's just people find themselves in situations they can't explain. Kind of like the Mandela effect, kind of like, a lot of different phenomena around the world. Maybe the Bermuda Triangle is another one like that. But anyway, we'll dig into all this and hopefully have a good time doing it. So before we get in too far, I just want to say right up front, to those of you that are out here on YouTube listening, and for those of you on TFR that are tuning in, as well as iHeart, Tune In, and TalkStream Live, then I want you to know that on Saturday, June 17th, there's a hell of an event going on, and by God, you're invited if you can be in the Spokane Valley area of Washington State. And what's going on, you may ask? Well, it's the Spokane Valley Sasquatch Roundup is going to be taken off, and that is going to be happening on June 17th from 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Keynote speaker is Dr. Jeff Meldrum, but Cliff Barrickman of Finding Bigfoot and Bigfoot and Beyond podcast will be there. Ken Gerhard, cryptozoologist and television personality himself, fantastically nice guy. Ken will be there. Michael Freeman, who is a Bigfoot researcher and son of Paul Freeman of the Freeman footage, will be there. Author Michael Thompson will be there. He's from Alaska and writes about Bigfoot. And then a good friend of mine, Mr. Charles Howard Johnson, will be there as well. I've investigated with Charles. He does paranormal ghost investigating as well as Bigfoot. And so he will be presenting, and I will be emceeing the events. I'll be the voice, hopefully, to tie it all together. I'm a little bit nervous. Nobody's ever asked me to do this. So, yeah, of course, Justin will play with the cat balls. They're on screen right now, along with the K2 meter. But that just sounds so bad. Sorry, I spit it out before I really realized what I was saying. But, yeah. Basically, just so you know, when I say we'll play with the cat balls tonight, there's ways to ghost investigation that doesn't require a real steep budget. There are things that you can buy. One of which are these little clear plastic balls you can buy on Amazon. And they are cat toys. And basically they're motion activated. And they have these flashing LED lights that go on inside of them. And they can be utilized and have been utilized really effectively in paranormal investigating for ghosts. And so I've got one here, and literally those things are like $1.99 on Amazon each or something like that. It's really a small price barrier. So I just have them because I think it's interesting. And surprisingly, it's gone off at some curious times. Can I say that that's paranormal? But no, I can't, but it's unusual. So essentially with all testing apps, the idea is to have several things going on at once. If you only get a positive on one thing, well, it's an indicator that there might be something present. But if you can correlate activity on more than one device, then that becomes powerful, and that becomes much more convincing that there is an actual presence. So when I say I'm playing with the cat balls, that's what I mean. Truth be known, both my cats are fixed. So they got, I can't even continue that line of thought. That's just so disgusting. Anyway,
Beat.
What did that say? Beat? Okay. Well, the ghost app on the computer just said beat. Don't know what that means. I believe I got Possessed Mario 3 off eBay because when I put it in my Nintendo, my TV goes static and I can hear "We have arrived." Yeah, that's a little creepy. I don't know if you can get haunted game cartridges or not, but I guess anything can have an attachment, so you never know. Anyway, I guess without further ado, again, the Spokane Valley Sasquatch Roundup is coming up, and I hope you guys can attend. That's happening at the Spokane Valley Event Center in Spokane Valley, Washington State. There's a VIP dinner that follows if you want more information or you want to get tickets for the VIP dinner or admission tickets for the speakers. Go over to www.exnorthwest.com. And that's how you can do it. So again, www.exnorthwest.com. This is a presentation of Extreme Expeditions Northwest LLC. Our dear friend, Mr. Stephen Majors, is at it again, and he really puts on a hell of a show. So really looking forward to this event. Sorry, I get a little distracted sometimes by the chat, and I do weird segues, so you'll have to forgive me. But at any rate, let's continue on here and just see what the hell's going on. I guess if you all are so inclined, it's time for the news. Let's dig into the news, folks, and just see what the hell we can find out what's going on in this crazy world of ours. Most trusted news, folks. All right, as we're digging in here, I'll keep the ghost stuff on screen as much as I can, just to see if you see the ball flashing and I don't notice, by God, let me know. Or if you see the K2 meter jump up. I want to do this to show you guys, those of you that are watching on YouTube, I think we should be able to get it to cue so you can see what the K2 meter looks like when it's actually picking up stuff, in case you haven't seen before. There it is. You got to see it jump. Cell phones will trigger K2 meters, so you have to make sure if you're in close proximity to a cell phone, make sure it's in airplane mode. Make sure Bluetooth is turned off, all that stuff, because it will cause it to jump. But now you've seen what you're looking for, and if it jumps up, then by God, yeah, no, there might be something going on, because it's been pretty flatlined for several shows now. And of course, the ghost ball. If the ghost ball starts blinking the lights, then I guess we'll know that maybe something's interacting with it. And we'll just deal with it as it comes up. So anyway, welcome to the Paranormal Portal News Desk. I'm your anchor, Brent Thomas, and I am going to read you some stories about what's going on in the news. I don't even know what this one was. It was so bizarre I had to pull it up because I read the headline. I'm like, I don't really understand what this means. But it's an interesting headline, so by golly, we'll dig into it and find out. All right, and the article I'm talking about is coming from unexplained-mysteries.com. Please support this site, folks, if you wouldn't mind. This is an incredible site, and I would appreciate it a bunch. So, gang rents entire hotel and spends a month digging tunnel to oil pipeline. I don't even know what kind of desperation you've got to be working with to figure that that's your angle, but my God. All right. The group of thieves had intended to steal and sell the oil by digging directly to the pipeline using primitive tools. We've heard of several heists over the years that have involved tunneling into bank vaults, but this is the first time we've heard about anyone attempting to dig their way into an oil pipeline. According to reports, the gang had rented out the entire hotel in Shingui, South Korea, so that they could use it as a base of operations from which to tunnel underground. They then spent the next month carefully digging out a tunnel, one section at a time, using little more than spades and pickaxes in an effort to make as little noise as possible. Wow. The entire thing was masterminded by a former employee of the Daehan Oil Pipeline Corporation who had previously been fired from his job for attempting to steal oil from a different pipeline. Yeah, I guess they didn't have to look real far for the brains behind that one. Who got fired for trying to steal oil? Let's go ask him. It said, sadly for the thieves, however, the entire scheme was thwarted when the police raided the building. The gang had managed to tunnel to within a mere 30 centimeters of their goal. 30 centimeters. I don't know. That's like what? I don't know. I'm assuming like 2 feet. They were 2 feet away from their goal, and then they got busted. Somebody sold them out, I'm thinking. But whatever the case, I guess it's a good thing they got caught, because you know what would have happened. I'm sure I don't know if they could prepare for it with rudimentary tools and stuff, but that oil's under an extraordinary amount of pressure in those pipelines. And it has to be to move it through so much real estate from point A to point B, wherever that is. But usually it's many, many, many miles away. So tunneling up to an oil pipeline in order to steal oil, I think that's that's a special kind of stupid. But anyway, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. It's just a bad plan all around. So there you go. That's the first article up for Bat tonight. Yep. If you think crime pays, well, then those guys might disagree. All right. The next one up is coming from unexplained-mysteries.com. And this one is also another fantastic story, but this one has to do with cryptozoology. Creatures, Myths, and Legends segment of unexplained-mysteries.com. And this is an article having to do with Steve Feltham, who says, I thought hunting Nessie would be easier. Why would you think that? I mean, there's been lots of people trying to authenticate Nessie, and I don't know why he would have had an idea it was supposed to be easier. The veteran Nessie hunter has spent more than 3 decades scouring the waters of Loch Ness for signs of its elusive monster. For most people, looking for signs of the elusive Loch Ness monster amounts to glancing over the water in the hope of catching a brief glimpse of a dark shape disappearing beneath the murk. For Steve Feltham, however, looking for the creature has become a lifelong obsession. Originally from Dorset, Feltham began his search for the world-famous lake monster back in 1991 after being fascinated by the possibility of its existence. Having given up his house, his job, and his girlfriend to focus on finding the elusive beast, he now lives in a mobile home which is parked on the permanent basis on the shores of the loch at Doris. D-O-R-E-S, Doris, I guess. He's since made a living selling miniature models of the monster to visiting tourists. Well, there you go. While his passion for the search has never wavered, he recently admitted that he thought after the first sighting of the creature, the hunt would be a bit easier than it has been. I had one glimpse of something like a torpedo going through the water, he told BBC Radio. I did think this job was going to be easier as I had a sighting in the first year, and I thought it wouldn't be long until a second sighting would come along. And that's where I'm stopped. At the moment, Still waiting for the second glimpse of something unexplained, because I'm here full time and I speak to hundreds of people who do report something that we can't identify. There you go. There's a whole video about it, I guess. I'll put a link in the chat if anybody wants to check out that link and watch the video of him themselves talking about this. But I don't know if it's much more than what we just read in the article or not. But for the sake of doing it, I'm doing it. So there you go, folks. I don't know. You be the judge. You be the judge, for God's sakes. Well, I don't know. I guess Loch Ness is murky, as they said. So it's not like you can just see down in there. But at any rate, I mean, I grew up on the shores of the Mississippi, so I understand murk. You know, you can't see, but you know, inches from your face in the Mississippi. And I'm the kind of kid that always opens his eyes underwater. So my God, I can't imagine the crap that I was exposed to at a young age. That and swimming with cuts and stuff. And it's like a bacteria soup. But yeah, we were kids. We didn't know any better. You go swimming. That's what you do. And we didn't have air conditioner and when we were young either. So it was like hot summer days. Hell yeah, you're going swimming. Even if it is a mud soup or God only knows what else soup. But yeah, I guess if there was a lake monster in Pepin where I grew up, and there's supposed to be, I never saw anything in all the years that I was there. And I spent days, hours, weeks on the shore of that lake, you know, just looking out among the waters, and never saw anything that I felt wasn't explanatory. Mostly just logs, you know, to be honest with you. The occasional jumping fish, but just it's a fish. So anyway, very curious. I guess he's still at it. God bless him for the trying. Somebody's got to do it. Building your immune system. Yeah. No kidding. I should be like RoboCop by now, I think. If that's the case, I don't know. Superman, RoboCop, Wolverine, something. I don't know, man. All the stuff I was exposed to, my God, you know, you cut your foot open, then you go walking in the Mississippi mud as you're, you know, swimming, and God only knows the things I saw floating by me. It was like, no, hey, the sanitation was kind of part of the river's history. You know, if you understand what I'm saying, it wasn't like there was a lot of treatment going on in some of those areas. It was just being kind of dumped in there. And here I am downstream splashing and learning water skiing and drinking a lot of the contents of the lake in the process. Turns out I can't water ski real well. I do apparently work pretty well as a fishing lure as I'm slapping across the surface, but yeah, I'm not much of a water skier. I tried though. My God, I tried. I got up. I mean, I could slalom and stuff, but I couldn't do the cuts and stuff like that. My brothers were pretty amazing. They were pretty fantastic. Naturally gifted athletic people, and I I just wasn't. But anyway, enough about me. Let's get to our next article. And this is actually coming from Sky News. Again, thank you, Rachel, for the link to Sky News, because when the news is running a little short on Unexplained-Mysteries, we can always check out what's going on Sky News. And it's equally disturbing. Because the first article that we're going to cover, and my God, I don't know. Okay, well, here you go. You be the judge. There's some really freaking broken people in this world. That's all I'm going to say. And I tend to be an optimist about the human condition and the human possibility and the human potential. But I'm also kind of worried when I read things like this. Man kept father's dead body in freezer so he could talk to him. Yep, you heard it right. So he could talk to him. The 82-year-old told the local newspaper, I thought I saw a flash. The 82-year-old told the local newspaper that he stored the corpse of his parent, who died aged 101, because I didn't want to let him go or I would miss him. Well, that's kind of sweet, but still disturbing. Maybe keep his ashes. And you can still talk to those. I don't know, or something. A man had been caught storing his dead father's body in a freezer. Police in the town of Landgraaf in the Netherlands reportedly discovered the corpse after concerns were raised by a family doctor who's worried about the 101-year-old father's health. Yeah, that's a bit worrisome. Dutch media reported the man's son, 82, told officers that he did not want to let him go or I would miss him. The Limburger newspaper said the son claimed he declined to put his parents' corpse in the freezer when he died of natural causes. He claimed he decided to put his parents' corpse in the freezer when he died of natural causes 18 months ago, so he could continue to talk to him. Oof. Police are reportedly now investigating whether any fraud has been committed. Council officials who visited the house are said to have described it as a mess and given the son a week to clear it up. You have a week to clean your room. I think it's a little more than that. I think you might need some therapy in there too, and some definite help. My God. So, yeah, storing your loved ones in a freezer because you might miss them. I don't think that doesn't track right for me. I understand, losing loved ones and stuff, but put them in a freezer? Really? All right. Well, let's go to the last story tonight, and this is a heartwarming one, and I saved this one to the last because I definitely wanted to end on a happy note. Now, this is one of those stories that really makes you think there really is somebody watching out. There really is someone that's making sure we're okay. And this is just one of those stories that I just love. I just love it. And we don't get them a lot. I don't know if they're not reported a lot or I just don't see them. But when we do, I like to highlight them. So we're going to end the news on this story. This is also from Sky News, and it's Florida woman wins $2 million after spending life savings on daughter's breast cancer treatment. Isn't that awesome? I just love that story. I mean, just the headline alone is just like, oh, thank God. And that's all I've read so far. So we're going to be reading the rest of it together. It says Geraldine Gimblett said using her life savings to help her daughter overcome cancer was an easy decision, but they were more than repaid when she won $2 million on a scratch card. Good for you. I mean, there's a picture. Is that not the most heartwarming thing ever? I mean, she gave everything to save her daughter, and God bless her. That's just such an amazing thing. But then it's not only did she do that, but she was well repaid by multiples when she won this. That's very, very cool. I mean, I don't assume she had $2 million saved up, but cancer treatment, of course, is very, very expensive. So I'm just tickled about this. A Florida woman who spent her life savings on breast cancer treatment for her daughter won $2 million the day after she finished hospital care. Even the timing is just impeccable. That's so brilliant. Geraldine Gimblett claimed the top prize in a $2 million scratch card lottery, but when she went to buy the card, the shop assistant told her they didn't have any left. I asked him to double check because I like the crossword games the best, and he found the last one. There was one left. Are you kidding me? This is absolutely divine intervention. She told the Florida lottery officials in an account they published in a news release. Her daughter, Laurencina Jackson, described the fortuitous timing. The day before my mom bought this ticket, I rang the bell and walked out of the hospital after completing my last treatment for breast cancer, she said. My mom had taken out her life savings to take care of me when I was sick, and I'm just so happy for her. Ms. Gimblett told ABC's Good Morning America putting her savings toward her daughter's cancer treatment was an easy decision. I really didn't think about it. It's just what I had to do, she said. Ms. Gimblett was joined by her daughter and granddaughter when she collected the winnings. As she chose to claim the prize as a lump sum, she'll take home $1.6 million. Isn't that not a beautiful story? Come on. I mean, even the most hardened of hearts out there has to hear that and go, oh, that's really cool. I love that story. Very cool. So anyway, I really think maybe it's also a little disappointing. It doesn't happen for everybody, but Thank God it happens sometimes. Thank God it happens sometimes. So I'm just thrilled these people were able to get the help they need. I guess the one on the right must be the winner. This must be her daughter, or maybe it's the other way. This is the winner. This is her daughter, and this is her granddaughter on the other side. Yeah, I guess the winner would probably be in the middle. So very cool story. I love that story. Makes me feel all warm and fuzzy, folks. And that's always a good thing. So, so, all right. Anyway, that's going to wrap up the news tonight. So hope you guys enjoyed the newscast and learned something new. Maybe you got a warm feeling in your heart from that ending. I know I do. So let's get back to the rest of the show. Still the most trusted news. All right, ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys enjoyed that. I like doing the news. I don't see anybody. Are you guys paying attention out there? I'm looking at the chat. There's not one response. It's like, really? Are you serious? Hello in there. Is this thing working? Is this thing on? Hello? All right, I'll have to assume it is. The meters are working. My God, I don't know. But anyway, don't mind me. I'm just here reading stuff for you guys. All right. Oh, thank you. Hi, Red Creek Mafia. How you doing? Good to see ya. All right. So anyway, that was the news. We can't hear you, Brent. Well, John, turn up your volume for God's sakes, man. All right. Anyway, we got a lot more to go here on the show tonight. Next, we're going to be diving into the Discord question of the week. Keep an eye on the balls, though. I'm just telling you, on the ball and the K2 meter there. You never know. Could happen anytime. Just all of a sudden, boom, something may trigger, and we'll keep watching for that. I don't know. I'm not one of those people that is real sensitive. Like, ooh, I can feel the presences here. I don't know. I'm just not tuned in that way, I guess. Some people claim they can do that, and that's cool. I'm not sure if I can or not. And again, if you're looking at the screen right now and you see those two little lights that seem to be in the chair, those are refractions from the candles. The candles that are going, I don't know, maybe if I do this camera, you can see better. Geez, where the hell did everything go there? Everything's gone. That's weird. Let me just see. Let me just see why that's not there. There it is. There, you see there's two cameras there, and those two little lights that seem to be in the chair are actually a lensing effect, because the webcam that's capturing this scene is curved, and so it's basically refracting that light and making it appear on the sensor in a different place. So it's a lensing effect. It's not anything paranormal. We found that out the other night because I was like, wait, what is that? And so I did some testing and was able to block it out when I covered the candle. So just so as you knows. All right. Okay, so anyway, it's time, ladies and gentlemen, now for the next part of our show, which is the Discord channel. And by the way, if you're a Discord user and you're not already have not already joined the Paranormal Portal Discord, we'd love to have you over there because it's just a neat community, some great discussions going on all the time. A lot of times I sit back and just check out what people are posting, and I'm always fascinated because you guys are doing a hell of a job just keeping the conversation flowing. So it's very much like the YouTube chat that's happening on the live shows. It's just maybe a little bit smaller version of it, but a lot of the same people are over there having discussions through the week. So if you're looking for more information, some fantastic links to stories and videos and stuff in the different content groups, then by all means join it. And the link for the Discord is actually pinned to the top of the YouTube chat. And you can see that on your screen or on your YouTube display if you're watching there. But if you're just listening over on TFR, you can join the Discord by going to https://discord.gg/paranormal portal, all one word. And that'll bring you right there. So I'd love to see you there. Howdy, Mom. How you doing? Unicorn Thinker. Unicorn Thinker, that's a new name. Good to see you. I'm glad you came in to check out the show. I appreciate you being here. And so without further ado, let's get to the Discord question of the week. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Discord question of the week, as I said. And what that is, in case I haven't already explained it to you, or if you're brand new to the show, but it's a chance for me to ask our Discord community a paranormal question. It might be about ghosts, it might be about cryptids, it might be about UFOs, might be about strange phenomena. But I'm doing that because I'm honestly curious. There's some ghosts, one this way in front of me behind the monitor, and one behind me back here. They're surrounding me up in here. So they're here, apparently. So if you're really here, if you guys can move that little ball over there next to the, after the candles, there's a little ball on that table. If you could touch it or wiggle it, it'll blink and I'll know you're here. Or just get close to the device that's leaning against the towel and it should light up and let us know you're here. So if there's a spiritual presence here, by all means, please do that. Okay, so... and that's the sound effect, sorry. It's built into the Ghost app that you see on the screen here, so there's not much I can do about it. It's just part of the program. So I know it's ultra creepy, but it's sometimes gives me the chills. It's like, ooh, that's a weird sound. Anyway, Discord question of the week, and it's my chance to hear what you guys think about these different phenomena. So again, nobody knows right, wrong, otherwise. Every idea, every theory that you guys have is just as valid as anyone else's. There are no experts. That's always a pet peeve of mine. Oh, I'm an expert on Bigfoot. It's like, really? I don't think so. And I appreciate that there are some incredible researchers. There's some incredible people out there doing lots of great work. I'm not disparaging anybody by saying there's no experts. I just think that expert is a title that has pretty specific meaning to me. And so to just wave it around like, well, I just like to read about Bigfoot and go out and look for him, and that makes me an expert. It's like, no, I don't know that really works. It makes you an enthusiast, makes you committed, it makes you a researcher. But expert is something that's, to me, is reserved to somebody who really knows all there is to know about something, or as much as possible to know. So anyway, let's get to the question itself for tonight's show. And this is from our Discord server. And here's the Discord server. When you join, you'll see over here on the left side, this panel is all the different communications, different discussion threads that are here. And this, when you first join, you'll end up in general. If you want to go right to the question of the week, you just put your mouse over it and click it, and that'll bring you to the question of the week. And if you would like any of these other discussion areas, Bigfoot, Dogman, Ghost, UFO, extraterrestrial encounters, cryptid music, strange phenomena, paranormal library, paranormal movies, and then there's some voice channels here. There's also a marketplace. The Portal Marketplace is up here, and there's the apparel link to the Teespring site that we have for the Paranormal Portal. But oops, what did I just do? There's crystals and jewelry, where you can see the Etsy shop. Love Rocks Company is here, and I'm actually wearing one of their necklaces right now that they sent me, and that was really amazing. That's right here. It's a triangle thing, but it's got all these cool stones on it that are supposed to ward away all kinds of dark things. And as well as there's another one here under miscellaneous. This is from let's see, Shepherdess, and this is her store, and she does these rosaries, and they are just beautiful. I mean, they're just beautiful stuff, and her link is here, so you can check that out. And if any of you also have a ware that you create, some kind of craft that you do that you'd like to make available, if you're an artist and you want to sell some drawings or pictures, go ahead and post in here. I can create another thread if need be, if it's artwork or sculpture or whatever. Ceramics, we can do it all. Just let me know, and I'll be happy to create a thread where you can showcase your work. But that's all in here. But anyway, we're talking about the question of the week. And today's question is actually courtesy of my cousin, Paul. I was talking to him on the phone. I'm like, trying to think of a question. And he brought up the military teams that are sometimes called out to deal with cryptids. And I'm like, that's a good point. What do people think about that? Because I think we've all heard the stories. Oh, there was a terrible rash of dogman attacks and sightings. And so they sent in this black ops team to take care of it. And people with stories of hearing gunshots and screams and et cetera, et cetera. And I was thinking, well, I don't know that they're true or not. I mean, I guess only the people there can say for sure. But what does everybody think? And so that's tonight's question. So tonight's question of the week, Saturday show. There have long been claims that certain military groups are utilized in controlling and potentially culling cryptid populations and covering those encounters up, along with taking the bodies of the fallen cryptids. As it is widely believed the government knows and is covering up the knowledge of these beings, do you believe there is truth to these stories? So first comes up existers. Absolutely. But I'm not looking for disclosure. Yeah, good enough. I mean, the answers don't have to be, thesis. They can just be your immediate thoughts. And thank you for that. I appreciate weighing in. Birdie Kuda comes up next. Yes, 100%. There are these are $1 million businesses that would shut down if Bigfoot was proven to exist. Forestry, mining, fishing, and camping, for example. Yeah, that's true. It may very well affect those industries and cause them, undue hardship. And God only knows the lobbying dollars that are spent, in all of those businesses. So ZX81V2 comes in the next and says, the worst thing that could happen to a cryptid is that somebody finally tracks down real proof. They will be hunted, and they will defend, and they will lose. Their way of life would be destroyed by ignorant kids and adults. If they manage to stay away from humans this long, they know what they're doing, and good luck to them all. One arse thinks it's going to attack. Click. Yeah, it's true. I honestly... as much as I'd like to know, what these things are and to know the truth of what their existence is, what's going on, at the same time, a big part of me kind of hopes that they stay hidden, that we just never know, because we have a tendency to destroy what we love. And if suddenly tomorrow word got out, Bigfoot's real, it's out there, it's proven, and there was absolutely non-disputable proof that these beings were out there, and the population at large would just instantly become aware of this phenomena, that everybody and their brother would pile the family into the truck and go hit the woods looking for one for themselves. And it may really change the face of the wild places. It may destroy habitat. It may cause undue stress on what populations do exist of these things. And that to me is really concerning, because we don't know how many of them are. There's ideas, there's estimates, there's, educated guesses maybe, but we just don't know. These could be extraordinarily endangered, all of them, or they could be extraordinarily prolifically populated everywhere. We just don't know. But in those instances, people would just be making that their new weekend hobby. Instead of going fishing, let's go, find a Bigfoot and get some pictures for social media. God only knows. And God only knows what that extra pressure would cause these populations to do. Would they become largely more aggressive? Would that be endangering other people that just happen to be there for camping and fishing and normal outdoor routines where they normally avoid them? Would it become more of an aggressive response, and would people get hurt? Would these things get hurt? So that's my thinking. But that's a good point, ZX. I appreciate that. All right, K-Love comes in next. I believe there's truth to these stories, especially when they are told by many who have seen these creatures. I think private companies contracted by the government/military are secretly developing these creatures as a controlled weapons. That's kind of interesting that you say that. I've had a theory for years that there could be real truth to that. There, of course, are stories that some of the dogman types that are out there maybe genetically created. And hell, I don't know. I mean, how could I possibly have any opinion on that? I don't know. But I don't know that anything would surprise me anymore either, you know, if you found out tomorrow. Yes, that's true. We've been engineering these crossbred super type soldiers for combat. Well, I guess it wouldn't surprise me. It's been the pursuit of leaders of the world since World War II, at least, to try to cross creatures with people to create these stronger, more ferocious soldiers. Acrylic. What the hell does acrylic mean? Does that make any sense to anybody? Acrylic? Again, the computer voice generator really has never impressed me a whole lot because they just seem real random. I'm not running the other Spirit Talker app currently. Last night we did, and interestingly enough, both devices were triggered very close together, which should mean that there was some kind of energetic, signal picked up or something, whether it's electromagnetic or otherwise, but it affected both devices, which I thought was really interesting. But so that I thought was cool. But generally the words that are spit out by the Ghost app are just really odd. It's like, really, acrylic? I'm not sure what that means. So anyway, my mom does acrylic painting, but I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Yeah, I don't know either, buddy. Acrylic paint, Rachel says, Paranormal Portal. Yeah, I don't know what. It's just a standalone word. So, but it's not contextually matching anything that's going on here. So that's why I think, well, this just seems kind of random. I do think something is triggering it to spit out words. Something energetically is triggering it to spit out words, but the words just generally seem so far off of the map. It's like, oh, dandelions. It's like, okay, what does that have to do with anything we're talking about? So I don't know. It's interesting. Something's triggering it, but there you have it. So next up comes ZX81V2 Resident Evil. LOL. Yeah, God only knows. Bowser comes in next on the question of the week. I do, because we see them and we hardly see their dead bodies unless they are like us in a way and bury their dead. But it is more common to see Bigfoot than to see a dead one. I don't think that's a coincidence. Unrelated question. Are Bigfoot us but not fully evolved, or us fully evolved or not even us? That's a great question. We can get into that a little bit. I love mysteries, and Brent doing great on the show. Thank you. You have a phenomenal speaking voice, and you also have one of the best show hosts I watched. And when I joined the portal, it's not like I watching the paranormal documentary. It's like I talked to a friend about the stuff. Thank you for being here for all of us and bringing us together in rough times. Oh, it's my pleasure, brother. Thank you so much. That means the world. I mean, I'm just an idiot with a microphone at the end of the day, but it means so much you guys show up. So,
1735.
1735. Could somebody Google that date? Is there any relevance to it? Again, all we can do is just try to reference this stuff when it comes up, but it's curious. It's talking a lot more tonight than it has in a while. So we'll see what else comes up. But okay, are Bigfoot us, a less evolved us? Probably somewhere in the hominid tree, which we come from as well, or hominoid. It's believed our ancestors were some part of the, evolving ape, theories. Unless you believe that we were engineered by some star people, which is, hell, what do I know? I mean, again, we can talk about ideas, but so generally speaking, they're something like us, I would say, but I think Lloyd Pye kind of really nailed it for me in a lot of ways, because he was a guy, he's passed away now, unfortunately, but he was, I thought, a brilliant man. He did a lot of talks about this, and one of his talks is still out on YouTube. You kind of got to look for it and dig for it, because it's pretty old now and it's hard to find old videos, but it was called Everything You Know Is Wrong. And his name again is Lloyd Pye, Lloydpye. And he basically said, he was thinking along the lines of, we're engineered, but in the fossil record is the ancestry of what we know today as Bigfoot. That is the lineage of these hominoids and hominids that evolved up until today. However, we don't seem to have a direct ancestor in the fossil record as far as what he was saying. And it has to do with chromosomes and genetics that he discusses in that talk. I'm not a geneticist, so I can't weigh in on those theories, but it is interesting because I know there's something to do with the way that some of the chromosomes in our DNA are fused. Doesn't seem like that can happen naturally. It seems like that has to be engineered. So is that true or not? I don't know, but it's an intriguing possibility. So are they some future version of us? I mean, if they indeed come from portals or whatever, maybe, I don't know. Maybe they are. Maybe there's a point in the future when we'll revert more to our animalistic ways, because let's say tomorrow civilization ended. Things would be an absolute disaster. It would be horror and tragedy everywhere because people don't know how to survive, largely speaking, without the society and structures we have in place today. A very large percentage of our populations could and probably would be wiped out in a hurry just because people wouldn't know how to forage for food and you hear those people that's like, yeah, well, I hunt and fish. So if the, things go south, I'll just hit the woods. And it's like, yeah, you and about, even in a small town, you and all 20,000 other people in your town are going to be hitting those woods. So how many things do you think are out there to shoot? Or how long do you think those things will be sticking around when there's thousands of people out there with guns shooting at them? So I think we would end up pushing game well out of our range and ability to get them, and it would be a fight against the clock, so to speak. So, I don't know. Those are great questions, Bowser. I will say that there is reason to believe that it's possible that Bigfoot, whatever they are, Sasquatch, Yowies, Yeren, Almas, Woodwos, whatever, would bury their dead. And that's because apparently even with Neanderthals, which were some predecessor of us, because there seems to be Neanderthal DNA in a lot of European descendancies. So, but they've excavated Neanderthal sites where they used to have their civilization or they used to live, and they found buried remains. They were buried in the ground, and these are Neanderthals, which are very much akin to, at least from some accounts and some archaeologists or what is the word I'm looking for, but Neanderthals probably looked more like Bigfoot than they did like people, although our scientists tend to make them look more human-like, but with the protruding brow and the the larger cranium and larger muscles. But Neanderthals were actually right around 5 feet tall. They weren't giant. But is it possible that they evolved to a more giant state? Maybe. But anyway, 1735 means your spirits are there to support you. Oh, well, good. Thank you, Tracy. I like that. That's a good thing. I appreciate that. Is that numerology, Tracy, or what is the basis for that? A lot fewer people were alive. Barely did they thrive. Maybe that's when the star people arrived. Eric says, yeah, maybe. That's interesting. Maybe there is merit to some of this stuff. It just comes across as very random. So anyway, great questions, Bowser. I don't know, but apparently Neanderthals not only buried their dead, but seemed to do so in a ritualistic fashion that even allegedly contained things like flowers, burying their dead with flowers. So it wasn't, and jewelry. There were some pieces of like a rudimentary jewelry that are found in some of these sites, allegedly, if I'm recalling correctly. So there was some form of spirituality among them. So anyway, very cool. B. Mora says, no doubt in my mind They have their tentacles in several black ops that Congress doesn't even know about, in my opinion. Yeah, isn't that the truth? I mean, probably if tomorrow we suddenly became fully aware of everything our governments have been up to, we would be absolutely mortified. I can't imagine. I know it's probably a stupid answer, but sometimes it's just better not to know, because it would be hard to have a status quo again if we knew everything. But I guess change has to come with the revelation of the deceit. So unfortunately, who knows? But Rachel comes in next with, I think there's some seed of truth to this, but why it's being done, I don't know. It could be due to cull rogue members of the species, and I can't think of any natural predators for Bigfoot. We can say dogman or brown grizzly bears, but who knows? To keep populations down would be criminal, in my opinion. I think military intervention would only happen in cases of violent confrontations with the civilian human population. One question I have is, do these cullings happen next to or within military bases located in forested areas? That does raise the question of monitoring culling and dead body excavation or extraction. Yeah. Some of them have allegedly happened up in Alaska, some, in places like Kentucky. I mean, there's dogman cullings that have been reported. There's Bigfoot cullings that have been reported all over the map. And I don't know if they're proximity to actual bases or not. I'm not sure. I can't speak to that directly. Next up comes Shepherdess, and she says, given the amount of stories the government officials showing up and being weird, secretive, and threatening about the situation at hand, I have to believe the government knows about cryptids and aliens and is covering up something. What exactly? Not sure. Could the government really have a division that's dedicated to covering up spiritual and metaphysical realities? And why do they show up in some situations but not others? And why cryptid encounters but not ghost encounters? So many questions. Great points. And then there's also the part of me that wonders, are they actually part of our government? Are they extraterrestrial or interdimensional too? And made to look like government officials? Are they government from the future, etc.? It all goes down a rabbit hole that's strange, and I'm not really ready to or willing to explore right now. I know it gets really bizarre, and you got to wonder. This government body angle, the whole thing throws another monkey wrench into an already bizarre puzzle. Isn't that the truth? All right. Yeah, good points. I don't know. That's a great point. What if they're not actually government at all? What if they're something else, but they look like government, or look military, but they're not? And that's a great take. Virgil B comes in next. Just like Bigfoot, there are way too many encounters reported that they're all made up. As is the case for our government is working with cryptids, no doubt in my mind that it's true. Yeah, I appreciate that. I think they probably have to know, and there's a willing and directed effort to not acknowledge it, much like the UFO phenomena, which now they kind of do acknowledge, but maybe not directly, but more directly than ever before. ZX81V2 comes in, infinite universe, and anything that can happen will happen. And in happening will cause something else to happen and happen again and so on. This scales to every level of existence. If something has a chance of happening, then something like a cryptid who can slide through out of phase reality could in theory be standing right next to you and you'd never know. You have to ask yourself how these creatures have avoided capture for so many years. Face it, times have been worse for the planet and its life forms. I honestly think a lot of cryptids have access to subsurface travelways. Would explain how they get seen rarely in some areas and more in others. That's a good point. The government, how do you know when a politician is lying? Its lips move. That's unfortunately a truism. Luna Moonicorn brings up the tale on this and says, totally believe they know things and aren't telling us. In Brent's podcast, season 4, episode 36 with Nick Orton, really pushed me over to the side that they know way more than I could even imagine. Yeah, Nick was a great guest. He's, of course, Tales from the Grid Square, Nick Orton. And he was a very good guy, really nice guy. I enjoyed talking to him quite a bit. But, he's had experiences and he talked to other people who had experiences in their trainings and stuff, and including seeing things like giants and stuff like that. And he brings up a good point. It's like, yeah, but when these guys are seeing this stuff, they're on a mission. They can't just go, oh, there's a segue. I see a giant. Let's stop everything we're doing, including, the time maneuvers and trying to hit targets, and do something else, which, would be go look at this big giant. I don't know. It almost became like an afterthought. He's just like, they're trained to just focus on the mission. And they see things, they make note of it, but then they keep doing the mission. And that's probably a good point. But, yep, I think Brent is a disguised extraterrestrial. Man, if I'm an extraterrestrial, brother, I got the raw end of that stick. I got no mothership. I got no extra special abilities or anything, man. I don't know. If that's the case, I don't even know it, and I'm going to be complaining when I do find out, because this hasn't been the ride the whole time that I've been hoping for, but it is now, thank God. Now I found the portal. So anyway, that's going to wrap up the question of the week segment. Thank you so much, you guys, for your input on that. I appreciate your thoughts, and I think we all kind of agree. They know something. There's a lot more that's known than being acknowledged. Are they actively going out and calling? Probably. Seems like maybe. But what is the end game? We'll never know. In a world of redacted and half-truths and circle talking and double speak, especially in the political circles, we'll never get any square answers unless they suddenly decided, hey, we're just going to be absolutely transparent. Here's all the files. Have a look. If and when that happens, then, wow, I guess we'll probably all be blown away. But until then, I'm not holding my breath. If it's happening, we won't know. We might hear reports, as we do every once in a while, but nothing to authenticate. So anyway, this has been the Discord question of the week. And again, please use the link. Get involved. We'd love to have you over there. Have you get involved. Become part of our community. It's a wonderful community. All right. Well, there you go. Discord question of the week. Boom. Just like that. Okay, we got about 2 minutes before the hour. So I'm going to take a drink and we're going to start more actively questioning this possible spirits that might be around. Maybe they're hanging out here with us. Sure would like it if they'd make that ball flash. That would be exciting to me. But let me pull up the other app on my phone here. We'll take a look. All right, Bluetooth is already off. Airplane mode is on. Going over here. It's time, ladies and gentlemen, for the Spirit Talker. All right, the Spirit Talker is now active, and this is the app that we've been testing for the last several weeks here on the show. Had some interesting things happen as a result. Just generally speaking, one of the directions that I'm going to be heading more often in the near future, hopefully near future, but in the future, is doing active research. And so one of the things that I would like to rely on is things like this. If it is indeed looking like it has valid responses, and I'll tell you, some of the responses seem to be getting better over time. And perhaps maybe there's something about using an app that makes it work better. I don't know, over time or what, but we'll just keep an eye on this. See if it spits out anything. Oh, look at this. What a response.
Open your mind.
Open your mind. Just came up. My mind is wide open now. All right, do you have my attention? Are you actually here with me? Are you able to make that ball flash? Is that something you can do?
They take other forms.
They take other forms. Do they? Who are they? Can you explain what that means? Can you give me an idea of who the they you're referring to is? I'd like to know what that means. Can they make the ball flash? We'll see. But this is part of the journey is to test these things and to see, does it seem valid? Does it seem like it's providing relevant information? The reason I picked this app was because I've noticed it used on a couple other shows that are on YouTube, and honestly, the responses during some of those investigations really seem pretty compelling. So I am going to take, I can't remember, was it ZX81V2 that said this? Or someone suggested, look, you may want to take it different places to test it too.
Growl.
Growl. Growl. Is there someone growling? Is that what that means? Is there someone not happy and making a growling sound? Is that what the others are? Do they growl? So a lot of times with things like this, again, you have to build a narrative from what you know. And unfortunately right now, we don't know anything. We don't really know who we're talking to. We don't have a name. Last night, a lot of names came up in a very short period of time. But if there are any spirits here, good, kind, loving spirits that wish to talk, this is your opportunity. The device I'm holding in my hand may allow you to speak in a way that we can hear and hopefully get a chance to know who you are and maybe hear what your story is to some degree. So if you utilize this, that would be wonderful. There's a couple of devices on the table to my right, and I'm going to point the phone that way just in case they're looking through the phone. It's over there. That you can either get close to the one that's resting, leaning against the towel, and it may flash the lights, and it won't hurt you, but it'll let us know that you're close. Or the little ball, if you touch that or can move that, it will cause it to flash lights. So if you could do that, I'd appreciate it. Again, nothing dark and negative is allowed. That's not okay. But if you are kind and benevolent, you're welcome to be here and communicate.
Come here.
Where's here? Exactly. This room is kind of small. So I'm kind of here already. Can you tell me if there's somewhere you want me to move? Maybe, since it's in airplane mode, I wonder if I could do this. Wonder if I could. I never have actually sat over there and tried it.
Phone.
This is a phone, you're right. This is a phone. And on this phone is this application that I'm using that's supposed to be able to allow you to interact with it to make words, which you apparently are doing. So if you could continue and try to tell us your name, I would appreciate that. Do you have a name?
I'm at peace.
Good. I'm really thrilled to hear that, of course. Oftentimes we hear about spirits that are sad or stuck or scared. And so it's wonderful to hear that you're at peace.
80.
80. Were you 80 years old when you passed from this life? Is that relevant to you? Do you have a name? I'm asking you two questions, but if you could answer either one of those, could you say the number 80 on the phone that I'm holding? No, you cannot. Can you make the ball flash that's on the table next to me? Can you do that?
I threw something.
Where? I didn't hear anything if you threw something. I'm sorry, I missed that. Can you throw that little ball that's on the table? If you could move that ball, that would be incredible and would help me to understand that you are here with me. Cat ball or any spirits with brands, can you say my name? All right, we have a question in our computer. You can see there if you're looking through the phone, asking if you can say that person's name. Can you say a name, either your name or that person's name? If you're present in the room, can you show up on the radar that's on the screen to my left? And that might show us where you are in the room because I don't see you. I'm not sure where you might be if you are here. ZX81 was your first computer. Was that an IBM or a Tandy or what is that? My first computer was a Commodore 64. My own computer. I used like Apple IIe's in school and stuff, but yeah. Come a long way, baby. 1K 8-bit. Wow. Yeah, I think I had 64K colors. I don't know. Oh.
Miscarriage.
Did you have a miscarriage or what does that mean? Were you pregnant and lost your pregnancy? I don't know if that relates. A TRS-80. Oh. Very cool. I remember those. Was that a Timex? Wasn't Timex TRS or was that Tandy? I don't remember the Radio Shack brand. My first computer was a calculator. Yeah, well, I mean, I had those before too. But when I think of computer, I'm thinking something you could actually type on and interact with. But, yeah. So, spirit that we're talking to, do you have a name? Could you say your name or a name that you'd like me to call you? If you choose not to be your own name, can you give me a name that I can address you by? Back to the show. Yeah, please. I mean, are you kidding me? I'm sitting here talking to the other side. Are you freaking crazy? Quit busting my chops. Now it's gotten kind of quiet, so I don't know. Not sure what's going on here. Again, this stuff never happens on command. The fact that it spits out anything is allegedly due to it detecting something or interacting somehow with an energetic field or presence. But the responses can come sometimes very quick, or they can come very occasionally. Oh, here's a name, finally.
Christine.
Christine. Okay, well, welcome, Christine. It's nice to meet you. Thank you for being here with us. I appreciate you taking the time and to come here and talk with us. Christine, can you make that little ball on the table over there move? Can you do that? It's right next to the towel. There's a little ball sitting there. If you could make that flash, I would really appreciate it, Christine. Again, I know you're not here to entertain me, but we have to know, and that would help to understand if you are actually here or if this is just, oh, now there's another name.
Melissa.
Melissa and Christine. Well, welcome to you both. I appreciate you being here. Thank you both for coming through and deciding to talk with us. Could either of you, Melissa or Christine, make that ball move or flash? If you touch it or just roll it a little bit, it will flash. It will start flashing color. That would mean the world. I really enjoy when you take a few minutes out of the shows to do these ghost chats. I think we all do. I appreciate that, brother. I've had comments, one comment to the contrary, where somebody said, well, I like the show. Well, let me correct that. I like the show that you used to do. Too much of this stuff. And granted, I've been doing more and more of this, but it's really kind of serving a double purpose because, again, I'm trying to authenticate the app, trying to see that it's valid. We've got some pretty impressive things, but also because I have investigations coming up and I want to know it. Oh, it's obviously, of course. Yeah, obviously. But obviously, could you move the ball, Christine or Melissa, if you're there, or anyone else that's here that chooses to interact with us? Can you make that little ball flash? That would be huge. I like the show you do. Thank you, Batman. I appreciate that, brother. It's fascinating. I'd love to see more of this, Brent, honestly. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I've been kind of hesitant to do a whole lot of it because I don't want to change the shows completely because I do the shows the way I do to try to give something for everybody. There's some ghosts, there's some strange phenomena, some UFO, some cryptozoology, etc. So we're going to do Cryptid Corner before we're done here and do a sound or two or a story or two.
He's dangerous.
Well, we don't want anybody dangerous here. That's not allowed. Nobody dangerous is allowed to be here. So if there is something dangerous here, it is compelled to leave at this time. That's not okay. You are not welcome. So we don't want dangerous. We only want peaceful, kind spirits present. Can you move the ball? Any of you? How many spirits are here? Can you tell me? Is there a number of spirits here that you can let me know? Christine, apparently the boneho, which is a dog, just so you know, says hi. Just wanted to pass that on. It's fun to do this. Thank you, Brenda Joe. I appreciate that. Evelyn, how you doing? Thanks for coming in. I agree with Justin. I like this stuff. You never know if that ball will light up and live. It has before. That's the beautiful part, Unknown. It's actually gone off a few times since we've been doing this test. It's very, very rare, but it has gone off.